Hello everyone, welcome to a new video on the channel. Today I am doing something different. I actually saw this on another Instagram account that does reading journals. I will link them below. It is 𝓬𝓷𝓮𝓻, and her idea of this was so fantastic that I've immediately dropped everything and decided to do my own. We're currently setting this up in my long collections reading journal 𝓤𝓷 because that's where this would go. And essentially what we're going to do is, if you do normal reading, bullet journaling, you would know about the future log setup. It's essentially going to look a bit like that, but what we're actually going to be doing is marking down the reads I've had so far this year with a color code and everything. Ours version is done via genre, which looks fantastic, but I'm not diverse enough as a reader. I pretty much just read fantasy and romance, let's be real. So I've decided to go with my trusty color code for 2023 of my star ratings. So we're going to do it that way. There is only one issue I'm finding, aside from the fact that despite marking out where the center of this header would be, it's crooked. Aside from that, my only issue is, what about the days where I finished the book on the same date? How am I going to go about that? And you'll see what I mean when we get into this. Also, I'm not sure if I should turn the light on or not for the overhead lamp or not. If the shadows are annoying, maybe I'll do it soon. And I might do some time lapse through this, but for now, let's set it up together. My desk is not going to be aesthetic. When is it ever though? Let's grab a pen. I have, this paper is incredibly thin, so I have double-sided taped these two together, because otherwise the header for the mid-year stats would be completely showing through, and it's still, I can see a little bit of a shadow, but with the pens I didn't want to go over it. So I think what we'll do is actually put the header in. I'm using the Tombow dual brushed pen in 528 for this header. I think it's the same color I used at the start of this book. Yes, it is. I did try to color match, but of course past me never wrote down the numbers of anything that I used, so I had to, well, I could have checked the video for it, but that sounds like a logical way of doing things, and I'm ever illogical these days. But I did attempt to match it, so I'm glad that I've grabbed the right color. And what I'm going to do is the same as I did on the header on the previous page and for every other header in this book. I'm going to use my, gosh, what are they called? Dual metallic, I think it's Pentel. I'll get it out in a minute. I'm so used to using my jelly rolls that I forget the names of every other gel pen that I have in my collection now, which is quite sad, because I do like them. They were my favourite pens for quite some time, because aside from, why does the two look different when I use the stencil for it? Oh well. Let me just zoom in a little bit for you guys. What was I saying before I got distracted? That's right, the pens. They all change colour, so when you write them down, the metallic that's in them is a different colour than the pen, except for the pen that I'm going to use, because it's just a plain gold one. But I loved the black one because it would change red. It was one of my favourites. And red's not even my favourite colour, but I just loved the richness of it. But yeah, I cannot remember the name of them. Obviously when I grab the pen out I'll be able to tell you. Let's get this header down really quick. This was not planned, as I mentioned, so I have no idea what my content was meant to be that comes out with this. I am going to set up the whole of 2023, but I think maybe for this video, I don't know. Should I set the whole lot up? We'll see how we go on camera, but I definitely will only be sharing, whoops, get that ruler out of the way, the first half of the year in complete form, because obviously we're just at the start of September and I will have to complete the rest at a later date. I don't know if I will do that every month now that the pages will be set up, or if I'll do it at the end of the year. Probably the end of the year. We'll see. I'd love feedback on it if you want to see it added to every monthly wrap up from here out. I will be all too happy to do that since I'll already be in this book. But if not, I can share that in my final flip throughs. I hope you're all well. I mentioned it in the video that I've just rendered. Actually, it's going to be up well before you see this one. That I had my wrist procedure a few months ago. You would have seen this one in a plastic cast. I had my wrist procedure done on the 28th of last month, so things have been a little bit slow at getting back into order. I actually didn't take enough rest, so that's great, but I didn't have the opportunity to rest as much as I would have liked. I'm a full-time carer for my mum and my sister. They both have very different needs, and my grandmother that I've mentioned on the channel as well. I've just recently sold her house. It's been a very long process. I've mentioned it a couple of times that I've been in the process of selling it. I finally sold it this week. Actually, the settlement was this week, and I thought that would be the end of it. I thought that would be right, that's the sign of things quieting down, and this week has been absolutely tragic, as in I have not been able to do, oh my hand slipped, I have not been able to do anything that I've wanted to, which has been so frustrating. Hopefully next week I'll be back into the swing of things, because we're actually in the process, my friend and I, in our house, we have a study, but it's open plan, and it attaches onto, it's like a little nook behind our kitchen. And I work from home not only as a full-time carer, but when I can have time, I work as an artist from home. So that's where I have my work set up. But I'm finding the space is just not working. One second, I'll grab that pen. Here it is. It is the, let me just go back to this, talking about the pen. What brand is this? The Dual Metallic Hybrid by Pentel, and this is in gold, and it's 1mm bull tip, but you can get why am I traveling away from what I'm supposed to be doing? This is my, oh no, this is the purple one, I think. But what it does is, I'll just go to the book, back of the book, is it writes in one colour. Oh, that's the black and red one, but it shimmers in a different colour. I don't know if that's showing up. So this one unfortunately just is gold. What was I saying about mind blank? Oh man. Oh wow, complete mind blank. And you'll be all sitting there going, we were talking about this. Oh yeah, it's just not working in that studio space for me anymore, or the study area. So what I'm going to do is, we originally, when we moved into this house, I did set up there, and I didn't like the space then either, because it's mostly a lighting issue. It's very dark in that corner, and obviously you need light to see. And the garage, which is right, it backs right onto it, we don't actually use as a place for storing our car or anything, or cars. It's got carpet down on it. They used it as an extra room, the people who own this place, we rent. And I moved out there, but I found that the temperature differences, in winter it was freezing, in summer it was so hot that I couldn't cope. so I moved back inside, and I haven't done any work except for maybe 2 to 3 weeks worth, but that is because I haven't had time. Now that things are settling down a bit, I think we'll be able to get back to it. So the long story is that my friend and I are going to clear out the garage, because currently it's been just stored with just stuff, and change the study area into like a surplus kitchen stuff, and also like food storage, and like cleaning. So I was like, the vacuum cleaner is going to go there and stuff, area. And then I'm going to turn the garage into a crafting room, and I don't think I'll do videos out there. I think I'll still set them up here, we'll just see. But I'm very excited because I've got some resin recently, and I really want to work with it very soon. So that is something that I'm working on at present, to try and get out there as soon as possible. It's all taking its time though, so I am actually meant to be doing that, and be working on that a bit tomorrow. I'm really excited. It's not like an aesthetic looking place, it's a garage. It's got lots of light, because there are panels on the roof that are clear, so the light just comes right in. I'm very excited to get into doing more crafty things that maybe I can share on here, because all my plans are very bookish. So that is something that I'm very excited for. Now that I've worked so hard on getting everything sorted for everyone else in my family, I'd really like to spend the remainder of 2023 doing fun things for myself, and just building back up to the expectations that I had at the start of the year, which I thought was that we were going to have a very easygoing year. Have you found that your year plans have been a bit like that you had the expectations and they've not really been met for some reason, or maybe you've done fantastic and met them and crushed them and then carried on for other things? I hope that you're having a great year. I think we really need, after everything in this world, a bit of happiness and just some yes moments, especially in this household. We'd really like some yes moments, that I don't have to stress so much, because that has been a really big factor for not reading as much. Also, I'd like to know if you like these chattier videos, because I'm happy to do them. I'm definitely going to get some more batteries for my camera. I know I could film on my phone, but I'm so used to the viewfinder for this camera and for filming for my work that this is just the vlogging camera now. I actually take photos of my work on my phone, and because this camera is quite, I wouldn't say old, it still works quite well, but the megapixel range on my phone is obviously superior because it's more updated. But I think with more batteries I can do more chattier, longer videos if people are interested. I do ramble a lot though, so I wonder if people would be. Let me know in the comments. But we've got that sorted. I can also try and do some live videos sometime soon, maybe. I'm not sure. I have to look into that a little bit as well. But I've been watching a couple of people in my time zone doing live streams, and it seems really fun. So we've got our header on the page now, and like I said, it's completely off. I've got some stickers to fill in the gaps like I did down here. Oh, you can't see, sorry. Down here that I printed out. So I can just fill that gap in. So the goal is, this is going to be from January to June, and I need to get my pen out, and because one of my pens stopped working the other day, I tipped them all upside down. Here's the one I want, to see if that was the reason behind it, if it was drying out for some reason, but I don't actually think that is the case. And we're just going to mark out where these are going to go. See, that one's not working. Oh, there we go, that's working. Actually, darn, I wish I'd not picked up from there because it's going to leave a little mark, isn't it? Oh, it's not too bad. I'm using the center of the book as well for my line work today. So there we go. And then if we just get the lines in place. Voiceover, we're going to have another one in a little bit, but this first portion I decided to speed up simply because I stopped talking. I was trying to focus on where I needed to do everything so I didn't mess up the spread, and I tend to stop talking if I'm concentrating, which is a good thing normally, otherwise I will make mistakes. But I just thought that I would still share this portion just so you could see what I did to set up the initial part of the grid space. Now let me hand you over to real time. So I'm going to put the header at the top. I'm not sure what colour to do that in for each month. Do the calendar and then I will be back with the fun part. So we're only going to do January to June right now. Now we have the months in place. If you followed me from last year when I was using a white journal for my reading journal, the stencil from Moxie Dory, I'm not sure if they still sell it or not because I haven't been following them for a bit, has functional circles, squares and everything all set up for journals, for reading journals specifically, and I'm going to use this very overused circle to make these circles for my books. So I've got my reading journal here and I'm just going to flip to January, which is here. I'm going to have this off to the side so I can actually look at it, and what we're going to do is grab the date of, so first off actually what we're going to do is grab how many circles we need to do. Sorry, I need to focus on what I'm doing properly. So we need 14 circles for January. Okay, I think I've got 14 there. And what I'm going to do now is get rid of that colour. She must be using dot markers to get those circles so perfect. Mine are not going to be that perfect. I'm going to get out. I have containers for everything. These are my Rougeot pens. So these contain the Supertips that have all the star rating colours. So the first book, this is going to be quite straightforward. The first book I read in January was a 4-star read and I finished it on the second. You can't see the second in these colours, darn. I might have to go over that later. And then corresponding colour down here. And then that's how it's going to go. Straightforward. So then I finished the next book on the 6th. And this is just a guide to see like where you read, what you did. I think it's fantastic. When you finished a book, but like I said, there's sometimes dates where I finished a book, like 2 books on the same day. What am I going to do? For that part, I'll probably just do the first colour, or maybe I'll do the highest number. Maybe that would be the cleverest idea. Green. So if you're not aware of my star rating colours, purple is the one that you'll see the most, and we're going to go into a segment of doing 1, 2, 3, 4 purples. Purple is 4 stars and I tend to give it out the most, and then finished a book on the 11th, the 12th, another one on the 12th, but it was the 4-star read, so that's fine, and 14th. Green is 3.5 stars, and we read it on the 17th. I love this. I think it's so cool already. Shall I come in a little bit closer for you? We'll look at January a bit closer together. There we go. I'm back to 4 stars again. The pink is 5 stars and the orange so far is 3. Blue is 4.5 stars. Yellow, I think, is 2.5. What day did I finish this one on? July the 19th. And then red is 2 stars. I think brown is 1.5, and then grey is 1 star, but I just really, very rarely do I go that far down. And I finished that one on the 19th as well, so that's fine. It's the same colour. The 22nd, oh gosh, no, that was not correct. Do not do that. So we've got 3 books left. So that one's an orange. And I'm sure you do not want to hear my commentary for all of this. So what I will do is grab my orange pen back again, mark down the 22nd up here, and then I finish that one on the 26th and the 29th. And so that's what January looks like now. But what I'll do is I'll just set up January, and then I will probably time lapse the rest. There's sort of what it's going to look like. When I come back, I'll definitely put on the lamp because it's getting very shadowy, and fill in the rest of it as a time lapse, and then I might do the second page, see how much that's ghosted through. I think I'll double side them because I've got heaps of paper left, and then stick the next one here, and I will show you that one set up as well. I just think it looks really cool with all the colours. I wish my colour scheme was slightly lighter though, so you could see it a bit better, but I think that's pretty cool so far. I'll be back once I've done the horses. I'm not gonna lie, this took a lot of time to do, so I have sped the footage up to 5 times. I've cut out all the points where I'm writing down the titles because that takes the longest, and I've just left the really aesthetic part, which is filling in the circles and showing you the colours as they come to life on the calendar. I think it's my favourite part about watching this back. I just love seeing it all come together as it does, and the colours are just so much fun. I definitely will be doing this spread next year. I think that this is a really fun way to represent the books that you read. I would definitely suggest starting this at the start of the year and doing it monthly. Filling in over, what was it, like 8 months worth of books was quite tedious, and it did take quite a lot of time. As you can see, I ended up streamlining things when I was doing the colours by holding all the pens because I was flipping back and forth. I could have grabbed all the colours per month and then just filled them in on the calendar, but I was so scared I was going to make a mistake, so I took the longer route by filling in each colour individually in the order that the book said, just so I didn't make any mistakes, because that would be the last thing I wanted to have happen on this page. And aside from a couple of tiny spelling errors, I'm so grateful that I did not make any mistakes on this. It was such a relief to not make massive errors. Of course, those little errors were that with the writing I was able to fix with a gel pen, but overall this page came together so well that I was happy to continue on and do the second page afterwards, even though my hand was like crying at me at this point to stop writing down all these titles. I just got such a rush from doing the whole setup. But I won't be showing you filling in the second page or setting it up. I did that completely off camera, but you will get to see it in the final flip through, which will be coming very soon. I also filled in the bottom of this page because there was a lot of white space, and I think it looks really great. I kept in theme with this journal, which is a galaxy theme. You'll get to see me just grabbing some paper in a moment and trimming that down to size and sticking it on the page, but there's not much more to really say, so I will leave you until we get to the final flip through. Okay, so I am back. I have definitely spent some time filling this in. You would have got the time lapse of that, and also I stuck some paper, which I was talking about earlier, down the bottom here. I think it looks okay. Obviously I filled up a lot of the white space because I didn't read very much in June. And then I've also gone off camera and filled in the next one, and of course, as I expected, because I can never do a title correct, this side has a lot more room. I'm not going to put the piece of paper down the bottom yet. I do have more scraps of it left, and I'll store that away until the end of the year, and then depending on how many books I read over the next 4 months, I can make that work. But I'm really happy with how this has come together. It really works for the visual guide that I was looking for. I think this is really effective, and I will definitely be using this type of setup in my journal for 2024. If you enjoyed this video, please let me know. If you'd like to see more little deep dives into pages like this. I had so much fun setting it up. And until the next video, I hope that you have a great time reading. Bye everyone.